Engine, you listened. Thank you. What am I getting at? Well, as you can see here, Engine DJ has added stems. It is not implemented the way some people hoped. There is still hope that the Prime 4 Plus may eventually get standalone stems where you just hit a pad and it does it on the fly. I don't see that happening on any of their hardware outside of maybe the Prime 4 Plus. But by the sound of it, they semi-promised that. I don't know if it was through, like, hey, we're going to see if we can do this, or if they said, don't worry, we're working on it. Like, that is a feature. And if they promised it when they were putting the product out, and then I do expect that they will work towards getting that implemented. For the rest of us, the chip that's in the Newmark Mixstream Pro, it's not doing real-time stem analysis and stem separation. No, it's not doing that. So what they've done is you can go into the Engine DJ desktop software, which is still hot garbage, but now can do stem separation. It still needs some work. It still has a bunch of fixes that they need to do, but this is a very good implementation. Essentially, in the software, it'll separate it all. It ups the size of your library, but then like playing 3 MP3s at once isn't a big deal for most, like pretty much any piece of computer hardware. Audio is actually very easy to deal with in that regard. So this is sweet. I'm hoping it means we'll get some future implementation of it where you can have separate effects on different stems and things like that. But this is just the first step in this process. We can't preview it currently because they don't have it in the Engine DJ desktop software to do that. You need the hardware in order to experiment with it. So unless you are a Prime 4 Plus owner who they got it today, the rest of us just have to wait. I'm assuming there's going to be like a free trial to mess around with this a little bit, but if not, I'll watch some review videos and hear how good it is. The only other thing I'm worried about is the DRM, because this, for the rest of us, unless you're a Prime 4 Plus owner where it's free, I like to say included, but they're not charging extra for this feature. It is a paid upgrade for the rest of us, which this is the first time that has happened on the Engine products that I'm aware of, unless I'm missing something from an older version of the hardware that had some type of paid thing. Since I've owned my Mixstream Pro, I've never had to pay for an upgrade on it. And that's rubbing a few people the wrong way. I kind of understand why, but the way I look at it is I was never expecting a stems integration onto my Mixstream Pro. And they're only asking $10. If it was an annual subscription, or if it was more expensive than $9.99, which oddly they don't list anywhere in this article, but they have it on their social media stuff. So that's where I'm getting that price from. If it was more expensive, or if it was as I mentioned, like X amount a month or X amount a year, I'd be more perturbed. But at $10, I'm probably handing them my money. My assumption is one of two things happened. One is this was more expensive to integrate than they thought, or two, which this is my more likely guess, I suspect that they're licensing a third-party software to do the stem separation, and basically this is so they don't go broke on the back end just handing out free software licenses for something that they have to pay for. That's my guess. It could be you want to call it a cash grab. I wouldn't at $9.99. Like, I think it's just recouping some costs or that. Right? This is a very reasonable price. Depending. I do need to see what the DRM is going to be, before I give them any of my money. If it's a case of, hey, as long as the device is logged in every month or something like that, and by device I mean like my Mixstream Pro, because I don't know how else they would keep track of all this, I'm okay with that. I do need to know if I own, say, more than one piece of Engine DJ hardware. Is this going to start to add up where if you buy an SC Live, now you have to buy this again for that? Or is it you buy a license, it's attached to your profile, so you just have to be logged into that profile on your Engine Prime device, or not Prime, Engine device, and then you have access to it, but you can only have access to it on one device at a time. I can live with a bunch of these options. I'd rather it just be plug and play, and then if I have, like, if you're a multi-op and you've got 3 or 4 of these things running, then you only have to buy it once. But again, it's $10. I'm not going to think this is the end of the world, and it comes included on their top-of-the-line thing. I know some people are, again, they're a little annoyed because Stems is available ostensibly free on a whole bunch of other softwares, where it's like if you've already bought the software, they've added the update, and now you get it. Yeah, like that's a bit of a misstep in some regards, but like I said, they're either recouping their costs a little bit, or there's a third-party piece of software involved. The fact that it's only $10 leans me more to option 2 there, or possibility 2, because I think given that some people are going to be annoyed by it, they probably would have just put this out as an included thing, as like an additional, like, hey, look how much better we are than the other standalone options. But if they're paying a third-party piece of software or a third-party software developer for licensing somebody else's stuff here, then they have to recoup that somewhere. Like, it's different to take a hit internally of like, hey, we put a bunch of time and effort into something that is going to make our products sell better. That's a bit different than, hey, we're cashing out X amount per unit now to a third party, and that's starting to add up and going to make adding this just not worth it. So that is my guess. But either way, I'm happy to see this. Thank you, Engine, for listening. If you can fix a bunch of other stuff, I'd be very happy, right? Give me some type of hardware acceleration for syncing, right? Let me dedicate 100% of my processing power to syncing onto an SD card. It shouldn't take hours. But yeah, you've got, a bit of housekeeping to do on the software itself for the just general user. But in terms of usability, you're just adding new feature after new feature. I'm very happy to see all this. And the hits keep coming. You guys are kind of knocking it out of the park, right? We got Bluetooth out recently. Not something I would probably use too much, although I need to see if that works for headphones. I haven't experimented with it at all. We got Bluetooth in a bit before that back here, both for keyboards and audio, which is very handy, actually. I've used that for cocktail music and things like that, where I just want the playlist in hand while I'm eating or something like that. That's been very nice. I do think you need a couple things. Like I said, optimize your software. It is incredibly slow. 2, you do need to add. Currently, with the stems, you cannot preview the stemmed out stuff in the software. It has to be after you've put it onto the hardware. That can be fixed pretty easily. Just put it so that we can, click a pad button on our screen that just turns off the vocal so we can hear how it sounds with the vocal, etc. So we can preview this stuff and we can set things based on that in our pre-sync state of being. Also, you've got Bluetooth in and out, and the Bluetooth can work with keyboards. So you can use the keyboard to type in, right? So we're getting data from the Bluetooth device. Give me a paid app. Have a little crossfader in the center. The only company that does that currently in an effective way in terms of using like your phone to control your actual like DJ software, not just Bluetooth from my phone, because that's what I currently do, is just Bluetooth from here to do background music and stuff. But being able to have this Bluetooth in so that I can control the software. And again, charge for it, right? That's a completely new feature. You can charge us 10, 20 bucks for it, and we'll probably pay it because that'll be very, very handy to do. But I think you're all heading in the right direction. All you got to do is fix some of your fundamental stuff. But I'm very happy to see this. This is wonderful. I was hopeful that we would see something like the stem separation for things like the Newmark Mixstream Pro and the less powerful hardware. They implemented it exactly like I thought they would. And I think that's a good thing. I can understand why somebody might be annoyed by it because, again, other stem options are just included in the software, including some of the free options out there. So it's a little disappointing in that sense, but I can understand it. But I also understand why some people are like, no, I'm never paying for that because I get it included in other pieces of software I've already bought. Your mileage may vary, but yeah, good news either way, in my opinion. Big steps forward. Yeah. So again, thanks Denon for listening. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.